Hello and a very warm welcome to each and every one of you, listening in from all over the world. This is the Easy English Podcast, the place where we build your confidence in English, one conversation at a time. I'm your host, James, and I'm thrilled to be here with you today for another episode.
And I'm Anna. It's so wonderful to have you with us. Whether you're listening during your morning commute, while you're cooking dinner, or just taking a well-deserved break, we're genuinely happy you've chosen to learn with us today.
Absolutely, Anna. Our goal here is simple, to make English feel accessible, practical, and, most importantly, enjoyable. We believe that the best learning happens when you're relaxed and engaged, not when you're stressed over complicated grammar rules.
That's the spirit. And today, we're tackling a subject that is a fundamental part of the human experience. It's something that connects all of us, regardless of our background or profession. We're going to be exploring the language of success and failure.
It's a powerful topic. Think about it. You might need these phrases to talk about your progress in learning English, to discuss a project at work, or even to share a personal story with a friend. Knowing how to express both your achievements and your setbacks is crucial for real communication.
Exactly. So, how are we going to do this? Well, we'll begin by listening to a completely natural dialogue between two good friends, Chloe and Mark. They're having a casual catch-up, and you'll hear them use some fantastic, everyday phrases to talk about their recent wins and challenges.
After that, as always, we'll press pause on the story and rewind. We'll break down all the key language you heard, explain the meanings, and give you clear examples so you can start using these expressions yourself. No rushing, no confusion, just clear, easy learning.
So, find a comfortable spot, maybe grab a notebook if you like, and let's begin our journey into today's English. Ready, James?
Ready when you are, Anna. Let's dive into the conversation. Alright, let's listen in. Chloe and Mark are meeting for a coffee after a particularly hectic week. Pay attention to how they describe their experiences. You'll hear some incredibly useful phrases.
And remember, don't worry about catching everything the first time. Just try to get the general idea. We'll break it all down for you later.
Chloe. Over here. I've been meaning to check in with you. How's the new role at the marketing agency going? I heard you were trying to hit some really ambitious targets this quarter.
Oh, Mark. I wish I had better news, honestly. It's been one of those weeks. You know, the kind where you have a mountain of tasks and everything feels like an uphill battle.
Tell me about it. I've had a few of those myself lately.
Well, I've been trying to finalize a major campaign report, organize 2 client presentations, and about a dozen other smaller tasks. But it feels like everything keeps going wrong. My laptop decided to freeze not once, but twice, during important video calls. And to top it off, a key client completely blanked on a scheduled meeting.
Oh no, that sounds incredibly frustrating. A complete nightmare. So, did anything at all come off this week? Like, were you able to salvage any small victories?
I guess there were a couple of small wins, now that you mention it. I did manage to get through to a particularly tricky client from Italy, and we actually signed a contract yesterday. So, I suppose I can say I succeeded in securing at least one deal.
Hey, that's fantastic. A win is a win, you have to celebrate those. But did you achieve all the main goals your team lead set for you?
And let's pause it right there. What a fantastic and realistic conversation between Chloe and Mark. Anna, didn't you feel like you were right there in that cafe with them? The way they expressed both their accomplishments and frustrations felt so authentic.
Absolutely, James. It felt so genuine. They perfectly captured the roller coaster of a demanding week, the small victories and the frustrating setbacks. And they used some brilliant, high-value phrases that we're going to break down right now, piece by piece.
Excellent. Let's dive into the first key expression. Right at the beginning, Mark asked Chloe, "How's the new role going? I heard you were trying to hit some really ambitious targets this quarter." This phrase, "to hit a target," is incredibly common and useful in so many contexts.
It sure is. We use it not just in business, but in all aspects of life. To hit a target or to hit a goal means to achieve exactly what you planned or intended to do. It's that satisfying moment of success after aiming for something specific. The key idea is precision and achievement.
Think of it like an archer hitting the bullseye. For example, if you're saving money, you might have a target to save $1,000 by December. If you manage to do it, you've hit your target. It gives you a great sense of accomplishment.
That's a perfect example, James. And it's important to note that it doesn't have to be a huge, life-changing goal. When I was first learning Spanish, my weekly target was to learn and remember 20 new words. Some weeks I successfully hit my target, other weeks I didn't, but having that clear, measurable goal was incredibly motivating.
That's a great way to put it. So, our listeners can use this phrase for their English learning goals, fitness goals, personal projects, or work objectives. It's a versatile and powerful phrase that immediately tells people you've achieved something you set out to do.
Now, let's smoothly transition to the opposite situation. Chloe said something that probably made everyone nod in recognition. "It feels like everything keeps going wrong." This is our next phrase to explore, and it's one we've all experienced. That phrase, "everything keeps going wrong," really resonates, doesn't it? It describes those periods where nothing seems to work according to plan. To go wrong simply means that things don't happen as you expected or hoped they would.
It's such a versatile phrase. It can be used for minor daily inconveniences or for more significant plan disruptions. The key is the unexpected negative turn of events. Let me give you a personal example. Last month, I planned a nice, quiet weekend to finally paint my apartment. I bought the paint, cleared the furniture, and was ready to go. But then, everything went wrong. First, I spilled the first can of paint on the carpet. Then, I realized the color looked completely different on the wall than it did in the store. And to top it all off, it started raining, and I had left the windows open. The whole plan just went wrong.
Oh, James, that sounds like a true comedy of errors. It perfectly illustrates how we use the phrase. It's not just one small mistake, it's a series of unforeseen problems that derail your plans. I think our listeners will have their own similar stories.
I'm sure they will. And that's why this phrase is so useful. You can say, "My vacation plans went wrong," or "the dinner recipe went wrong." It's a natural way to express that things didn't work out.
Now, let's move to a more positive phrase that Mark used. He asked Chloe, "Did anything at all come off this week?" This is a fantastic piece of natural English. To come off means that something that was uncertain, difficult, or risky actually succeeds in the end.
Yes, and there's often an element of surprise or relief when something comes off. It's like a plan that you weren't 100% sure about, but you tried it anyway, and it worked. For instance, if you organize a surprise party and manage to keep it a secret until the very end, you can say, "The surprise party really came off."
I love that example. I remember once I was trying to get tickets to a very popular concert that was sold out. I checked the website every day for cancellations, and against all odds, 2 tickets became available a week before the show. I managed to get them. My plan actually came off. It was a wonderful feeling.
That's the spirit of this phrase, that triumphant feeling when a long shot pays off. So, when a difficult project at work is finally successful against the odds, you can proudly say, it came off.
Now we come to one of the most emotionally powerful phrases from their conversation. Mark sympathized with Chloe by saying, "Sometimes, your efforts come to nothing." This is a profound expression, James. When your efforts come to nothing, it means you worked very hard, you invested time, energy, and hope into something, but in the end, you didn't get the result you wanted. There's a sense of loss and futility.
It truly captures that sinking feeling of disappointment, doesn't it? It's more than just failing, it's the realization that all your hard work didn't lead to the desired outcome. I recall a time I was helping a friend prepare for a big job interview. We spent hours practicing questions, researching the company, and preparing answers. I put a lot of effort into helping him. But on the day of the interview, the position was suddenly canceled due to company restructuring. All our efforts, his and mine, came to nothing.
That's a perfect, albeit sad, example. It really highlights how the phrase isn't about laziness or lack of trying, it's about circumstances beyond your control nullifying your hard work. Another example could be studying intensely for a driving test, only to have it cancelled repeatedly due to bad weather. All that preparation seems to come to nothing.
Exactly. Now, let's look at another very human and relatable word Chloe used. She said, "Some days I feel great, but then other days I just falter." The verb to falter is beautiful in its meaning. It describes that moment when your confidence, strength, or determination begins to waver. You don't stop completely, but you stumble. You hesitate.
It's that internal struggle we all face. Think of a runner who starts a marathon strong but begins to falter around the 35-kilometer mark. Their pace slows, their form suffers, and doubt creeps in. They haven't quit, but their initial power and certainty are fading. In language learning, you might falter when you hit a difficult grammar concept and temporarily lose confidence.
I've certainly faltered many times, especially when learning to play the guitar. I'd practice a chord progression for days, feel like I'm mastering it, and then suddenly, during a practice session, my fingers would falter. I'd make mistakes I hadn't made in days. It's a temporary lapse, not a permanent failure.
And that's the crucial thing to remember about faltering, it's a moment in time, not the end of the story. It's okay to falter. It means you're pushing your limits. Recognizing this word helps you articulate those moments of vulnerability, which is a key part of authentic communication.
That leads us beautifully to our final key phrase, which is perhaps the most vulnerable and important one of all. Mark confessed, "I just can't seem to cope with everything lately." This phrase, "I can't cope," is a crucial piece of emotional vocabulary. It communicates a feeling of being completely overwhelmed, a feeling that the demands of life are exceeding your capacity to handle them.
It's a powerful admission, and it's something everyone feels at some point. To cope means to deal successfully with something difficult. So, when you say "I can't cope," you're saying that, for now, you don't have the emotional or mental resources to manage your situation. It's not a sign of weakness, it's an honest assessment of your current state.
Precisely. The pressures can come from anywhere. For example, a new parent might feel they can't cope with the lack of sleep and constant demands of a newborn. A student during exam season might feel they can't cope with the workload. It's that sense of being completely swamped.
I'll share a personal example. There was a period when I was working on a major project for this podcast, planning my wedding, and helping a sick family member all at the same time. For a few weeks, I felt I was managing, but then one day, I locked my keys in my car. It was a tiny problem, but I just sat on the curb and cried. I couldn't cope with one more thing, no matter how small. That's often how it happens, a small straw breaks the camel's back.
Thank you for sharing that, Anna. It's so true. It's rarely one big thing, but an accumulation of stressors. Recognizing and being able to articulate that you can't cope is the first step toward asking for help or giving yourself a break. It's a vital phrase for well-being.
So, to our listeners, if you ever feel this way, it's okay to say it. I'm struggling to cope at the moment. It's a complete and valid sentence. And on that note, we've covered all the key phrases from our dialogue. We've talked about hitting targets, things going wrong, plans coming off, efforts coming to nothing, faltering, and not being able to cope.
It's quite a journey, isn't it? And it's the journey of life itself. Now, let's take a moment to bring it all together and see how you can start practicing these expressions. So, let's do a quick recap, because practice is how we make these phrases stick. We started with to hit a target, your achievement phrase. Then we saw to go wrong for when plans fall apart. We learned to come off for those wonderful surprise successes.
And we explored the more emotional side with efforts come to nothing for those times of frustration, to falter for moments of self-doubt, and finally, can't cope for when everything feels like too much. This is the real, authentic language of navigating life's challenges and triumphs.
Exactly. And remember, the goal isn't perfection. The goal is communication. Using these phrases will help you share your stories, your struggles, and your successes with others in English, which is a huge step forward in your language journey.
We encourage you to take just one or two of these phrases and try to use them this week. Maybe think of a time you tried to hit a target at work, or a moment when a plan came off against the odds. Say the sentence out loud. Practice it.
That's the best way to make it yours. And we want to hear from you. Visit our website, theazenglishpodcast.com, and find the show notes for this episode. Leave us a comment telling us about a time one of your plans came off or a goal you hit. We read every single one.
It's been a pleasure exploring the language of success and failure with you today. Remember, every single person who is learning English has moments where they falter. It's completely normal. The important thing is that you're here, you're listening, and you're trying. That is a success in itself.
You're absolutely right, Anna. Thank you all for being such a wonderful part of the Easy English podcast community. Keep practicing, be kind to yourselves, and we'll see you next time for another episode.
Bye for now.